my inspirations for Manfred. I mean, I would say the script itself was inspirational in the sense that everything was there on page. You know, the humor, the emotional arc. It's quite funny that I think in speaking to Julia when she'd seen me in Bottoms, I think Jeff was just tonally in the fact that he's kind of so ridiculous and over the top, and that's kind of where we meet Manfred. He was a little bit of a reference. But I just think if you look at any of these, you know, he never really turns into a traditional love interest in a way, so it wasn't really useful to look at, you know, Mr. Darcy, you know, in an exact sort of precise way. But I think you can take anything from playing into this sort of performative version of romantic lead in period piece, but also sitting in the kind of ridiculous comedy that he embodies as well. I would say one of my favorite scenes was my first day, the first shot, the first scene on the first day. Julia had me covered in blood, shirtless, dragging a stag through the castle grounds. And it was so surreal because it was so cold outside, and you're kind of pretending, you know, it's not, you're not freezing. There was something really surreal, but it also very much set the tone of how ridiculous this person is and what he thinks is charming and attractive about himself, which in fact is not that he slays a stag every day and presents it to Cherry. But also I'd say, you know, there was those sort of initial scenes where it was Hero and Cherry and Jerome and myself, and I think just seeing the tension play out, you know, there's so many different dynamics. There's this man who, you know, is afraid of who he is and doesn't want to show it, and so he's very performative, and you know, Hero's suspicion and Cherry kind of having to sort of be a slave to all of it and trying to navigate that, and of course, you know, Manfred's own very devious nature. I think we didn't have a lot of scenes where it was all four of us together, so I mean that was a joy to film. I don't think I could sustain anything convincingly for 100 days. Maybe I would just do like my 3.5 decent impressions on repeat.
And which are?
I do a decent Gollum. I do a good Dobby. I do King Julian from Madagascar. I do a decent Matthew McConaughey, but I can only say one thing is McConaughey. I think that's it. I think that's pretty much it. They're quite niche. And a lot of them are like weird goblin type creatures as well, weirdly enough. It was kind of this weird fever dream making the movie and working with them, because, you know, I only had about 10 days. I think I had 10 shooting days to film it, and so every day just felt like adventure, summer camp, you know. I remember Maika made me do a TikTok, which I think that's the last TikTok I put. I was very reluctant to go back there because people know that I made some like cursed TikToks over lockdown when I was going I need to justify it. I was going insane. I was locked down by myself in a house in the middle of the countryside. So, but they convinced, it was just that everyone's general lightness and want to have fun, I think, on the movie really made it just a very unique experience. And because I was able to kind of dip in and dip out, you don't experience the same kind of fatigue that you do on most projects. You know, especially because I'm usually there like the whole way through. I don't remember the last time really I kind of dipped in and dipped out, but we were really lucky to have a very talented cast, so we just all had a lot of fun together. Working with Julia was, I mean, I knew it was going to be a joy because she's just a wonderful person, but I also think that just understanding who she is as a creative, what she cares about, it was very apparent in, you know, how she approached me to play this role. She wrote me a really beautiful letter, but even before I'd read the letter, I knew I wanted to do the project because the script was so, I just think just extremely unique. And I had a very similar feeling when I was doing Bottoms, because again, you know, my role is not really central to the story. But there was this opportunity to do something that felt kind of culturally significant in a way. And a lot of that is down to Julia, you know, who she is as a person, how she writes, how she directs. And I think really, you know, immediately there was a sense with her that she would allow me to play and have fun and bring a bit of weirdness and a sort of fun physicality to the role as well, which I was definitely looking for. I think I kind of had experienced some of that making Bottoms, but you know, Manfred is his own beast, and there was a performative quality to him that is really fun to play with. And so I'm just very thankful to have found Julia, and I really hope we get to work together again in the future. I think a story that really lulled me was actually, the first school I went to was a Greek school, and we'd often get taught Greek mythology. And I remember not reading the Odyssey, but being taught, can you imagine? I read the Odyssey as a 5-year-old, but hearing the Odyssey for the first time and really actually just like connecting with Greek mythology, I think it really, you know, I grew up loving very fantasy-driven movies like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and Star Wars, and I think a lot of that is actually down to, you know, that, again, fantastical element of Greek mythology and the sort of parables within it. Oof. Enchanting. I really, it has an edge to it, but there is the sort of fantastical element about this movie, which is very enchanting.